Today I'm going to show you a little bit about my portfolio that I've created during this class. I'm going to explain LDT, 550, HTML, CSS, and jQuery, my Adobe Illustrator, my flipped classroom, as well as my database unit. I have to say that I wanted a consistent header after I learned all the HTML that I could. I wanted a consistent header throughout my top part. So I made the header like you see on the left-hand side of brackets. And then on each page that I created, in highlighted blue on the right side, is the jQuery function to load the header on every single page. One thing that really helped me with my HTML, CSS, and jQuery unit was this website, materializecss.com. It has a bunch of different features that you see along the side, like CSS, some JavaScript components, and also just some formatted HTML that you can directly put into your text editor. It made making my header very simple. Here are some features of Materialize CSS. The color palette is in the background, and then I showed some of the JavaScript elements for jQuery. That was the collapsible that I had to put into the website, which was part of the HTML unit. And there's a lot of other stuff on the side that I use, like the carousel and the drop-down menu. Another little feature of my website was the drop-down menu here, and I explain kind of what I learned about a very brief overview of HTML, CSS, and jQuery. But my jQuery I thought was really cute was when I give a seal the mustache, and they're both movable and droppable objects. Moving across my row, I'm going to hit the LDT 550 Adobe Illustrator, and this is my infograph that I made. And the feedback that I got from it was it is more like a poster, and I didn't have enough pictures to explain, to make it an infographic. It was more just words. A cool little feature of this page is I also added some jQuery to it. So this little car moves. So when I press this animate button car, it zooms forward. Yay! And then I can reset the car when it goes off screen. Next, I want to show you my check mark image. So the original image is on the right, and Brielle's check mark is on the left. And I would say that this is one of the most difficult parts. The feedback that I got was the color gradient is slightly off, and then the dip in my V is slightly higher than the dip in his V. I'm really happy with the logo that I chose. I run an ACE classroom. It's called Academic Core Extension, so I extend their current English class, and it's all about growing, and that's why I put a tree in the center, and I feel like it really represents my classroom. Moving from my Adobe Illustrator to my flipped classroom, I have a unit about my horror unit that I've included a bunch of different lessons and how I would incorporate them into my classroom, which does have about 15 computers that kids can use. The first activity is actually I used last year. It's creating an Edpuzzle account. So if I click on the image, there's a video that pops up. And I actually might use this website in order for them to create their Edpuzzle accounts from now on. If I scroll down the page, the next activity is Why We Love Horror. It's an expository essay. If I click on the image, it pulls up a video and the scavenger hunt that I want them to do. The video is actually me reading the essay to them, and then they have to fill out a close reading on it. I have another activity that has a video that I'm reading as well as another scavenger hunt because I find it that in 7th grade, some of my kids are awesome readers and it's great to hear a dramatic reading, and other of my kids can't read very well, so it's good for them to follow along to a voice as well as read it on screen. Some of the close reads that I posted on my website that I just showed you guys, I actually post on my store on Teachers Pay T-shirts, the CD's Warehouse. And I just wanted to show this website because technology has helped me out as an educator and also helped me make more money as an educator. And that's something that I think we should think about. This is my website for the database unit. And this was by far the hardest unit. And I did this second. So I did HTML first and databases second. And it's an interactive gradebook. This is a little bit of my explanation of it. And that was a really easy part, but the interactive gradebook is I click here. When I click my little interactive gradebook, I'm gonna first try to add a student. And this actually connects with a database in the background. So let's add an easy name, Jane Doe, add. So, and then it has a pop-up that said Jane Doe was added. In the last one, we added Jane Doe. So let's see if she was added to my view class. One of the criteria was press a button to view the class, so I'm going to press it. And here's all my names. And Jane Doe is at the bottom, number 10. And let's see if she has any grades. And right now she doesn't, incomplete assignments. So I need to update Jane's test grade. She took it finally. So I'm going to double click. She got a 99 and press update. And it updated. Then I press done. When I click on it one more time to view her grade, it should stay there. And it did. So that was a very hard part for the database that I did. Another thing I did that links with the database is deleting a person. So Salmon Super has left the class, so I need to delete him. And he's no longer there. It refreshed right away. I have to say the database unit was the hardest one for me. And my second little blurb tells about it. It uses 3 database tables, a username table, an assignments table, and a grades table. And they're all a relational table that joins together and they interact with each other. And that's how I got them to work.